Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy Fanatics video on the channel. It is Thursday, late night. We've got a bit of a later captain's video than always. We normally do it on Thursday afternoon, but very, very busy day. So we're recording it a little bit later. Actually recording it after that dreadful game that was Collingwood and Hawthorn. Don't think I've probably not enjoyed a game like that for a long time. But yeah, we will push through. But no captains in the top 10 from that game, thankfully. So we'll go through the top 10 as we always do for round 22. So we'll start off as number one, and that is Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera up against Richmond on Saturday. So this could be a VC or C option for you. Had a good record against Richmond's last four, 112, 95, 127, 103. And Richmond's still a good matchup for midfield as well. So still giving up plenty of points there. Especially to inside mid. So if you can get some stuff on the inside, that'll be really good. Also giving up good amount of points to defenders. So if he does go back at the half back at all, should get a fair bit of the ball. And we know how good Nasiah's been this year, right? He's the second highest averaging player for the season. Had a lower score last week of 108. But besides that, he'd gone like 145 plus in 3 of his last 4. So been in some really good form. And I think he'll be really good once again. So he's number 1 last week. He'll be number 1 again this week. And his teammate, Rowan Marshall, will be number 2 here against Richmond. He's got a very, very good record against Richmond. So Richmond's still giving up points to rucks as well. Not as much as what they have normally given up, but he has still been giving up plenty of points. And looking at Rowan Marshall, who went the 142 last week, his last few against Richmond, 123, 140, 136, 131, 103. So his last 4 games, all over 123, which is really good to see. And Max Heath come back in last week, didn't really matter. Max Heath only had the 3 CBAs. Marshall still dominated that sort of aspect of the game. And I think with Mitch Owens out, I think Max Heath is going to play a bit more of that forward role. So I think Marshall's going to be fine and put up another good score. So really like Marshall once again this week. It's just going to come down to is it Nasiah or Marshall for some teams if you put the C or the VC on either of those guys. Going to number 3, I've got Brodie Grundy, and this is one that the team sheets dictated why he went up. So he's up against Darcy Fort, so no McInerney, and Peter Laddam's got dropped. So Grundy's here. Like Brisbane aren't necessarily like a great matchup, right? So they're neutral. They don't give up a huge amount of points, but they don't sort of restrict too much either, right? But Darcy Fort's obviously easier than McInerney. But Grundy, who's averaging 109 now for the season, and obviously hasn't gone below 110 since round 9. And what is it? I think 10 of his last 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 of his last 10 games have been over 120. That is absolutely ridiculous. So he's here based on consistency, form, and matchups pretty good as well. So Grundy, like him this week, got him at number 3. And then I'm going to go to the Geelong duo of Bailey Smith at number 4 and Max Holmes at number 5. So, yeah, normally I'd put these guys a little bit higher, but I wouldn't be shocked if either of them sort of rested the last part of the quarter. If they're up by a fair bit, which I imagine that they will. I think both are really good VC options. I think they're really strong VC options. But, yeah, I think they're both good. Baz scored a 136 against Essendon this year. Holmes went 131 against them earlier this year, plus a 101 and 109 his previous 2 against him. So I think he's got some good scores there. Recently, and also Bailey Smith. And Bailey Smith's been in some good form back after a few lower scores and with a few good tons. I think both could go really well. I think I've just got them lower because I feel safer, I think, with the other 3 above them. But if you want to go VC one of these guys, I think it's a really good option into one of these guys as your captain. I think that's a good call as well. And I didn't go through Grundy's previous scores against Brisbane just because I don't think they're as relevant. He went 95, 101, 74, but he's completely different to that sort of form now. So I think he'll go really, really well. Moving from 6 through to 10. So at number 6, I've got Max Gawn. Up, where is he here? Up against Tim English. He's had a really good record against him. 136, 137, 113, 133 in his last 4. And I think he'll go well. I think with Goodwin obviously being sacked, I think Gawn will come out and have a big game as a captain. And I think he'll have a really good game. So I've got him at number 7. Number 6. Number 7, I've got the Bont against Melbourne. Had a bit of an up and down record against Melbourne in his last 5. So 135 against them last year, but then went 90, 99, 125, 100 against them recently. But we're in Melbourne on the scale. So Melbourne aren't really too good for mids. They're actually a tough matchup at the moment. Only GWS and Sydney are giving up less points over the last 5 weeks to inside mids than what Melbourne are. So that's an interesting one, but I think Bont will have a good game. It's a big game for the Dogs. They need to keep winning, particularly with Hawthorn winning tonight. So, I think Bont will have a good game there. I've got Jordan Dawson at number 8, and that probably is a low for a lot of people. So he's got a good record against West Coast, 139 against them earlier this year, 123, 105, 105, 97. The reason I've got him lower is I just think that if Crows are up by a decent amount, he's just going to be rested in the last quarter, right? He's going to have the last 5-10 minutes off. That's been the case last few weeks when they've been up by a lot. Dawson will rest the last bit. So I'm not saying he won't go well. He scored, 114 points in 3 quarters last week. If he could get to a 120, 125, I wouldn't be shocked. But I just don't know if that massive swing's there. So I think he's a good captain option in the last game if you're wanting someone that's a bit safer. But I just sort of wonder what will happen there. Also, when Tex doesn't play, Dawson plays a little bit more forward, just with in rotation and stuff like that. So what games has Tex missed this year? So I think he's only missed 1 game this year, Tex. Funny enough, it was round 11 against West Coast, and it was when Dawson had a big game, so I can't really use that as an excuse. I thought it was actually another game that he missed, but I think Dawson's a good option. Probably got him a bit lower than most. I just wonder if he just rests towards the end of the game. I've got the big X at number 9, Tristan Cherry here, obviously making his return. Obviously, no one's really got him in their team, but I think Cherry against GWS, who are a good matchup for Rucks. He scored 121 against them last time he played them, which was round 1 of last year. And I think you go, well, I think he's got a point to prove. Come back in, miss 3 weeks. He's probably got to come back and have a big game, and I think he will. So I've got him at number 9. And I've got Matt Rowell at number 10. So where's he? He's at number 10 against Carlton. I think he'll rack up the tackles against Carlton, who can play a stoppage-heavy game. There were a few guys that just missed out, though, on the top 10. Also, Rowell's last few haven't been great against Carlton, but I think Rowell's in some really good form. So some guys that missed out. So Jeremy Cameron, you could put the VC on him, right? But just don't think he'd make the top 10. I think he could go well against the Bombers, and I think he'll have a good game. You could definitely put the VC on him. Just didn't put him in my top 10. Whitfield against North Melbourne. Not a great record against North Melbourne recently for Whitfield. I think he's only had 1 really good score in his last 4 or 5. And Constanti's been doing some jobs. So I just wondered, does that go to Whitfield this week? And he did the job on Sinclair last week, Constanti. So I'm a bit worried about Whitfield this week. But I think you can still go all right. But I just wouldn't be looking at the captain this week. Noah Anderson, I think he gets some attention from Carlton. So I probably wouldn't be going there. This way, I think there are better options. Lockie Ash could go okay, especially if Whitfield gets the tag. But again, besides that 130 last week, he hadn't really had any massive scores this year. So I don't know if I'd... He's a safe captain option for if you want a ton. But besides that, I don't know if I'd go there. So you could go there. He's better than some options, but he's just not in top 10. Jack Sinclair, he was probably one that got really unlucky to miss the top 10. He's had a really good record against Richmond in his last few games as well. Had some really strong scores. I'm just going to get up his recent scores against them now, because he's got a good record against Richmond. He had a 134 against Richmond earlier this year. So already got some sort of recent history against them this year with a good score. Then last year scored a 116. And then the other game last year, he scored a 105. So a tiny bit low, but still a ton. Then 2023 had a 121. So a good score there. And then the other game in 2023, he had a ton, just a flat ton, 100. And there his last 5 games. So he's tonned up in his last 5 against Richmond. But his last few have been pretty good. So you could think about it. But I just think if you've got Nasara or Marshall, I just think they're the guys you're going in that game instead. Tom Green, now, he should be having a good game here, right? North Melbourne, a great matchup for midfielders, particularly as the later it goes in the season. I think he had a really good game against North Melbourne last year. Yeah, 145. I just can't trust it. Not going there for captain or VC at all. I'm hoping as an owner he goes better, but I just couldn't go there. Harry Shields has been good lately as well, been getting it done, and could put up a good score. Went 120 against GWS last year. Just think they're better options this week. But as a captain option, he could be someone you do look towards. Brayshaw, he's like Porter giving up points right at the moment, but he's just not getting it done. Like, he just hasn't got it done. He's turned up once in his last 6, and that was against Hawthorn for a 138. Everything else has been at 80 or a 90. So I just don't think we're going there based on recent form. McCluggage will probably get the James Jordan tag, so I wouldn't be looking at him. Grind Myers could be a sneaky VC show if you were trying to target that matchup. English is getting it done every week. I just don't love the Gawn matchup, so I would look at other options this week, and I don't think there's anyone else here I'd really be like Josh Dunkley could be half a shout as a VC, but I think there are better options for us this week. So that's my top 10. My current plans at the moment. So I've currently got Nasiah VC into Brodie Grundy. I've been flipping between Nasiah, Grundy, and Baz with the VC and C. Like I've had Baz VC into Nasiah. I've had Nasiah VC into Grundy. So that's what I'm currently on at the moment, Nasiah VC to Grundy. But I've thought about Baz a lot. And I've thought about even Marshall over Nasiah if I wanted to go there. So I've thought about a few options. But at the moment, it's Nasiah VC into Brodie Grundy captain at the moment. So that's currently what I'm looking at doing there. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what you guys are doing with your captain and vice captain for round 22. Hopefully you guys didn't have Nick Dacos last night, because if you did, you'll be relying on a captain. So hopefully that captain can get it done if you went the VC on Nick last night. Yeah, make sure you do smash your big thumbs up on the video. That'd be very much appreciated. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 5k subscribers, so if you can help us reach that goal, that'd be very much appreciated. And if you'd like to head over to the Patreon and sign up for the last couple of weeks and shout us a pint, shout us a coffee for the last couple of weeks, and you can head over to Patreon, patreon.com/AFL Fantasy Fanatics. Plenty of content through there for the remainder of the season. Only a few weeks to go, so not too long left. So thanks everyone for tuning in as always. We'll be back tomorrow or later on today if you're watching it on the Friday for our pre-lockout chat. As always, Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. per time, answering all of your questions ahead of Friday night footy. So thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks everyone. Have a good night. See ya.